M80, they show us why they wanted to play this map of Haven as they take the win 13-9 against YFP. Welcome back, everybody. Where we're witnessing maybe potentially the actual we're so back for M80. This could be it. Wyatt, are you? I don't know if you're disagreeing with me or what's going on here.
Oh,
checking over reflection.
No, I agree. I was just doing this on something to do with Van Silly. I was shaking my head. I can't even remember what.
Oh, naturally.
It was something Van did. No, you're right. This could be the M80 are back moment. Now, things definitely started slipping away when the sides swapped, and I almost started believing in the moment. I almost started believing that YFP lost. But that being said, if they're going to be back in the game here, we're headed to their map pick, Ascent. If they take this, if it continues being close, I mean, listen, M80 have been impressive so far, though, no doubt. If they can just 2-0 this thing out, I think we're going to be looking at them in a different way moving forward. I think this is going to be their, maybe their peak so far this year. If they can just 2-0 a quality YFP right out of the game.
I gotta say, every time I was watching Ned's camera, it was just shaking like crazy. I can't believe he was playing under those conditions. But I mean, a great job on the side of M80 at 13-9. And like you said, it's kind of fake comeback that we got to see for the side of YFP. But M80, it seems like they had it under control for, what was it, 3-4 rounds? That YFP were winning, they were finally able to close it out of Vance.
Yeah, and if you're looking at it from the history, a lot of them went through the fuses again. So it definitely shows here for YFP that they had, a solid plan on how they could play against M80 at that point on these retake capabilities that they had with this composition. It just came down to their attack side where it's not necessarily just one player just popping off, because yes, it was maybe the highlight reel around Xander playing on their defensive side, but really a lot of these players from M80 really stepped up to the plate now on in terms of just having their individual holds where they need to hold so that Xander could pop off the way that he can.
And it's amazing because Xander is such a consistent player. We're used to seeing this guy get those multi-kills so many of the rounds that the M80 have to play. And today, at least for this map of Haven, he was absolutely the highlight, went 26-14. And I mean, you get to see the elements at the top, which is great. Something that we don't see very often, Wyatt, but I think the impact that Xander has on this team, it's something that we've seen for such a long time.
Yeah, he crushed them totally in the first half. Like, the first half was just, he was 21-6. I mean, he kind of slowed down in the second half, but it didn't matter. I mean, he could have just gone and cooked dinner and didn't have to he doesn't have to show up for the rest of that map. Like, he did enough. The rest of y'all win this game out for me. Thank me later.
Hey, if anything, if you look on the other end, though, Jakey also had some great moments on this Omen on the defensive side, too. Like the TP in front of that of the top B side to get some information. He had some great moments, too, where he's able to move in with the team and get heroic plays. Remember that Rolling Thunder round as well towards that A side. He gets contact, TPs away, delays enough as well so that his team could really move in and get great value on the defensive side. So this is actually really nice to see YFP finding like a groove against a top team like M80 going forward in the end of that first map. So again, I'm hoping that this carries over onto that second map of Ascent, and we could definitely expect a third map if this continues on the performances of YFP that they carried over from the end of that second half.
Especially because with the compositions that we saw on that map of Haven, when we go into Ascent, a lot of these are going to stay the same. A lot of the players playing the Jet are going to keep playing the Jet. The players playing the Sova are going to keep playing the Sova. A lot of the things stay the same, so it falls down a little bit more into the way that the map is going to play on that defensive side. This is the map pick for YFP, but obviously it's an M80 that wants to go on that defensive side. And honestly, with the way that they played this first half of Haven, I feel like this can be a 2-0 for M80, Wyatt.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. Their Ascent has looked really good. It was, I think, a bold choice for YFP to take things here. But that being said, they have been excellent on Ascent too. They're running the Turtle Troop comp. M80 are running a pseudo Turtle Troop comp, but they have the Yoru instead of the Jet. And then they also still have that Deadlock, which is shown to be an incredibly potent agent on Ascent. It took a bit of time for people to figure out how to work her into the current meta, but I think she's incredibly strong, and both of these teams have shown a solid understanding of how to really use her in optimal fashion.
Oh yeah, you're totally right about the Yoru. That one is, I think of M80, and Yoru does not come to mind. And then you said it, and I just had all the flashbacks of everything that we've seen with the Yoru. Like, oh yeah, they're really running this, and they're getting away with it. They played it against Fluffy Aimers, as you mentioned, and it looks good, Vance.
Yeah, and just to mention Fluffy Aimers on that previous series that we casted, when they played this double Sentinels, where it was tough there was on their attack side too. And this is where you're actually seeing the team of YFP playing on the attack first with the double Sentinel. So we'll have to see how that carries over.
Yeah, we're going to see what's going to happen. Let's jump into the Zippo Agent Select. Let's see if the compositions here with everything that we talked about are going to remain the same. And Koala Noob is going to keep playing this Yoru. They're still playing this double Sentinel as well, with Nismo on the Deadlock. So once again today, which is pretty rare, for the second time we had the Deadlock versus Deadlock going against each other. Now in a new map, we're going to see if M80 are able to take this 2-0, if YFP can answer back in their map pick. Casters, take it away.
And this is actually quite fun to look at this here, Wyatt, because, yes, double Deadlock, and what happened last time to counter Deadlocks, double walls, it's an omen. And they both have it here for Xander and Jake. And I feel that this is actually quite good here for Qualoob and Xander, that they could maybe try to do that type of combination and get around the Deadlock abilities and utility. But we definitely do know the strength that Deadlock brings here on the attack, and how can you fight back against this with this combination?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to be looking for the Yoru to do that, but also, listen, it can be risky to send those gate crashes past tripwires, past some of those walls to get deep into the site. A lot of times, if you put it in the wrong spot, you're going to get caught by anchors. So yeah, we'll have to see how they want to work around that. Usually M80, though, with this Yoru on attack, they reserve a lot of the gate crashes for making some big rotations, having Koala Noob pressure one area of the map early on, maybe fight B main and then TP towards A, or sometimes towards Catwalk even, where they go for a split onto the A site. But they're going to be starting on defense, so the play around the gate crashes is typically quite straightforward. You play on one site, you send it to the other, and you TP back. On this one, Qualnoob, he's going to fight Aggro Cat here, and he has that gate crash to get back into tree after he fires off a shot. For his sake, hopefully gets a kill trying to. Just going to fall off. Doesn't need to teleport, and a little early damage onto Physic.
Yeah, that's right. No raid bosses through as well, so he bought his own Sheriff and was no shield trying to peek out. So high risk, medium reward. You still get one more Sheriff shot in the chest of Physic, and that's going to take him down, where it definitely does seem that YFP are looking to still contest towards this A side, where it's definitely weaker for M80 rather. Yeah,
they've left the Cypher, the Yoru here, Koala Noob, to play off of the tripwires because the barrier mesh from Nismo was blocking off B main. And now you can see more of a rotation drawn to this site from M80. So YFP there, playing speed round quite slowly. They're going to try to work up Cat and play off the space that Penny's gotten, perhaps, leaving their options open. They could go into a B split here or circle back into the A split with Penny towards A.
Comes down to the util too. Meanwhile, you did see the damage that Penny with his own Sheriff did, and is trying to get another one, but gets pinned by the Sonic Sensor. Here's that swing across through the guard, and it's a 1-for-1. 4-player advantage against 3 of them. ADS Fizz is able to even it up. Swarming towards the A site is YFP. There's not enough time on the clock, but they managed to open up the A site for a plant.
Over there.
Oh, and those YFP players were just so weak. It only required one of those bullets from the Ghost to connect to Physic, but the shots were just a little bit too high. Listen, these players still are weak, though. Nismo might be able to make this happen. Just one little bullet onto Physic. Knows his location, knows he's weak.
He's trying to play back inside that smoke as well. Does have an opportunity here as that second shot. I mean, that util is just too good for YFP to know where Nismo's committed towards to. He's going to have to drop down here through the force and piss around. Oh my gosh!
Oh my god! That was almost some right-click magic. Oh my god, that was damn close to a ridiculous 2K. You called it, though, that Sonic Sensor there just spoiled Penny's plans, but it didn't end up mattering, excuse me.
I would have bought like 6 Sentinels Classic for somebody to give away them happen.
All right,
Oh my
YFP.
God.
They start off on a good note after losing map 1. That was M80's pick on to Haven. This is theirs, Ascent, where they've been quite dominant this season. Both teams have.
And YFP is able to score first on that one, giving them that confidence to try to push this at the sunset if they can. And already with that confidence, the force buy of the Vandal on the hands of Penny while Will is watching the flank. And with that, could potentially just throw a barrier mesh or decides to pull back and just wait for more aggressive pushes. And somehow, the long-range classic from Xander wins it against Penny.
A bit odd there where, they didn't smoke off B main, and that just gave Xander this opportunity to get a free kill. Penny was watching. It looked like he might have had to watch multiple angles because of those lack of smokes. So a little bit messy, and that gives M80 the smallest of opportunities back into the round. That being said, though, they still only have 5 classics.
I must wait a moment.
And a camera watching flank as well. Paranoia is going to hit Jakey. And then keeps them at bay and allows here Jakey to just reset his aim, even reset his clip and get the 3rd in the round. And that's Xander and Dismal, the last 2, looking not to die to the spikes. They're giving a lot of these old orbs away in favor of YFP, and they're building up here, busy getting really close to the Hunter's Fury.
And Jake just carrying over some of that individual momentum from the first map where he went 23 for 15. Really came alive in the second half, and if he can maintain that confidence, would be immense for him. Especially considering, I think, sometimes confidence was an issue for him when he was playing with Cloud9 in partnership. I remember last year, Zelsis was a guy on that team that was constantly trying to hype him up, keeping his confidence so high. So if he can maintain that here, one of the more experienced players in the server, one who's played at a high level, that could be huge for YFP. Walnoob slipped into Wine on their full buy.
Jump spot 2 to just try to bait him out while he was playing all the way back towards Wine and was hoping that he had the better angle, but Penny was always ready for that one. Now slingshot back towards the A main. Xander capitalizes on the kill, and a second with a 5 HP left, hit by the Paranoia, but Ned is also there to help out from L. The crossfire setup is great. The ping gets the information onto Will, who does get a dig through the wall, though. There's that double swing towards the end, and it becomes a clean hold on their gun round for M80.
That is just some great anchoring from those players on M80. Quality dealt with as well. And they just get in onto the site, not expecting that there's going to be a crossfire waiting for them when they've already dealt with that player. Kowalanu in Wine, not ready to deal with those trips. They try to accelerate, they get caught by them. Those are the dangers of playing against the double sentinel composition and rushing into a site. You can just get so caught off guard by that utility. It can ruin your hit like it did there.
Deploying drone.
They could play very well now for M80. Forward up towards Kench bench. Just TP away, but there's still some good traps set up here by Net in the back of the site, just keeping an eye on the camera as well, but his position allows for you to get the wall bang in the back of the site into a dash on the switch. The YFP, they're just attrition of util, and oh my god. Yep, you're playing through the barrier mesh, and that's why you got an Omen. Get the kill, TP away.
I think players play in front of the barrier more than behind it. I'm going to be honest. like the players on the team that throw it, it is so common to be doing that. It is so common. That's so obnoxious from Xander. Jake is just got no chance against the judge, already repositioned towards main. Now, YFP have done work breaking some of the util, but it doesn't matter. Xander is just 2 times right place, right time, close up with the judge.
They're both hands in the air saying, oh, let's just try B then. We have no other options. And fortunately, as they walk for info, that's 3 players inside this B site. They get a pick out of that. Penny and Vizik are alone. Recon Dart now smoked out. BCJ still trying to get the Odin spray. Now they get spotted. Down to 3 lead. But again, there's just too many players inside this B site. Becomes a clean hold for Kuala Noob. and for the Odin to be salvaged in the next round.
Yep, Odin versus Odin. Neither player can see each other. This is the gameplay that I live for, Vans. 2 judge kills, Odin spam, 2 kills through walls, and 2 judge kills. What happened to the game I love?
It's kind of like split with the judge, or now this time with... I think I got to blame Sadat for that one with the judge inside Ascent. He's been doing such a great job holding that towards tree and front A site every single time that definitely you're seeing value of using the judge at a lower economy for these players now.
It's going to be sheriffs across the board for the YFP side. Won that pistol round, but since then, M80, they've been on points. It's defensive setups. Again, it's this deadlock cipher. Cracking this as the attacking side is such a frustrating ordeal.
Why destroyed?
They will commit towards it though and still get the first blood. Volume once again with the support, and the deadlock utility continues to keep players at bay, and he's moving it confidently.
Playing some KZ there with the movement.
Pretty much.
The dimensional fabric here is thin. I'll tear through.
And that's going to allow here the dimensional drift to be available for M80 going into round number 6. So yeah, as soon as M80 started getting their economy right, it's been M80 all along here on how they're A to Z looking strong on even preventing YFP of getting plants inside these sites.
M80 are close to all 3 of the other ultimates they don't have available. Hunter's Fury, the Annihilation could be huge. Nismo, last time he played Deadlock, hit every Annihilation that he fired off.
The information of the dimensional drift trying to get the Odin spray to follow up behind it, but unfortunately no contact coming through, and still only light damage being done to Penny, but Nismo's pushing all the way up, and his aim is back here from that Haven clutch that we talked about numerous rounds ago on Haven, and he's able to allow M80 to get first blood.
Just taking so much space as well. The barrier measure damn near in spawn, and he's just he's going to hold this angle. All of this information on A. You can see Koala Noob at the top of the map there, gliding a bit closer towards B. These setups are so frustrating, man. Look at Nismo. He's all the way to bottom catwalk. Jake caught on a where? Oh my god! The aim is just robotic. This guy is insane, man. I mean, one of the players that we've been looking at questioning, how is he not on a partnership team? How is he not on a tier 1 team? I think we've been asking him that question for 2 years at this point. The ace. He is downright ridiculous, man.
Look at that, how snappy it is shooting the bodies too. But yes, definitely the game sense is there. The push forward on the information from the dimensional drift. We mentioned it here. There was moments where when the shot and the aim is up here for M80, and that follows up with the teamwork that you have in the communication to say they're all towards this B side, push forward, and you have the game sense to get the timing to push behind mid to get these kills. Nismo definitely is back in the talk of the town to be of, yeah, somebody's got to pick him up at some point, right? And for M80, they were at a situation in a moment where they wanted to stick together for the longest time. And Nismo, as we talk about him, gets another clean shot onto Jake to open up the round once again for M80.
M80 are in position right now to run away with this half. BCJ is getting a lot of damage through the wall, but look at the economy for M80 right now. It's out of control. They're on defense with double Sentinel. They're close to 2 ultimates right now. BCJ on the cusp of that Hunter's Fury. Annihilation in the hands of Nismo for the next gun round as well. I mean, okay, and the grab that is just perfect.
It does get the capture there onto the jet as well. And they're just aiming across. Not even enough time here to break the cocoon.
One enemy
and there's
remaining.
the last 2 kills coming out from Koala Noob. And this, right now, Wyatt, what we're currently seeing from M80, it's almost like the, remember, even me, I'm like, well, actually, because you could min-max Ascent, you're starting to see a lot more attacker rounds coming through here for teams. But they are definitely showing that it's, that for M80, it's Ascent back to a heavy defensive-sided map here for the team. But that's off their proactiveness.
YFP calling a timeout now. Definitely necessary. M80 have a firm grasp on this game. Koala Noob has the operator in hand. So lethal with that weapon, was great on defense with that on Haven. The last map getting a lot of first kills. Ultimates available. BCJ going to have that Hunter's Fury soon. Starting on attack against this comp is just such a nightmare.
They got to figure something out for sure. Starting on an attack on a double Sentinel too. They might have an opportunity for YFP to do the same thing on a defensive side, which potentially could just be the same storyline as we've witnessed on Haven, Wyatt, where YFP, unfortunately, they're letting their attack side slip, but maybe it's going to be too late to come back here on the second half. It's definitely looking to be the case so far with how M80 are, once again, getting so many good results on so many different looks currently on how they're holding the defensive side of Ascent.
Yeah, I mean, right now, M80 can full buy for the next, 20 rounds if they want to just keep playing out defense. They have an infinite money generator on their team. YFP are on the cusp of their economy getting broken if they lose this round. And Koala Noob gets so aggressive down cat because he can just gate crash out of there. Another entry with the AWP, or first blood, rather. I mean, it's just so consistent in those moments, man.
So consistent and so good, and as you're just trying to activate your star player to get the first blood, just unfortunately nothing is really working out on the side here of YFP. Coming out of the timeout, this was something that was important as well. It wasn't a timeout to decide what they could do in 2 rounds where the economy would be right. This is a crucial round now for YFP to try to bring the game back, because losing this round puts them back on an eco once again, and you're at a minute mark where you're throwing up the wall, the barrier mesh. Oh, but this one just got caught and it goes back and forth. An opportunity to try to swing inside that site. There is the TP from Xander in the back of that B site. Off shot connects from Koala Noob onto Thief, and the hat doesn't even matter anymore when they can't enter the site with Koala Noob avenging his teammates the way that he does.
That situation got scrappy, but even within that, M80 make the right decisions. Oh, the Annihilation catches one. Really big from Will to even the odds, bring things to the 2-on-2. Stays alive though onto that ledge and then gets picked off immediately by Jakey. And that's 2v2 coming through in the plant. Pretty decent, allowing Will to set up his sonars. Sonic sensors is the word that I'm looking for. And even on top of that, the one-way smoke by Jakey. So they have great opportunities to delay, continuing the delay on the side of YFP. Big flash coming through and a TP in the back, but he cannot get the kill. That looks so good at the very beginning. But now, in the end, YFP is able to hold the pulse plant. Really crucial round for them to win. 3 on the board. Will at the very end there. I'm telling you, man, these Annihilations get so much value now. It felt like such a joke ult when Deadlock was released. It was just so silly. I mean, visually it's silly. Also, the mechanics of it, having to bounce it and catch a player. But the consistency now that Deadlock players are getting with it, I mean, they're being hit like 99 out of 100 times, it feels like, when I've watched these games in Challengers. And in a situation like that, it evens things up 2-on-2. It's just so strong in the right hands.
A chance to fight and a chance to breathe, despite being 1 player behind for YFP. They're able to convert back on a 4 versus 5 to keep this game close, to keep M80 continuing to have to readjust round after round. And Xander's the one that pushes forward first. That this time steals the kill away, though, from the off of Koala Noob. There's the hat coming out, the TP coming through, and the Hunter's Fury out on the defensive side. The ping on 2, and now the net being thrown, and now a counter Hunter's Fury they can hear coming out from Physic. But now Koala Noob does get the pick onto Physic overall. There's that Sonic sensor on the top, but it's still a position where YFP can play the pulse plan. Close range we go. Will is now alone down at the bottom of hell, and the Yellow Drone is trying to clear him. It's going to ping. He's gonna have to swing out, and now that's BCJ towards the end with the Odin, and the util there was good.
Yeah, that's tough. That's a heads-up little owl drone at the very end from BCJ to make that 2v1 all too easy. Lock it up without really giving Will a chance to clutch.
I need this.
Great retake from them. The pace on that was really nice.
My thanks.
Just flooding back in together. And YFP already, they had to scrap and fight so hard after losing 5 rounds straight. They finally got one on the board in the previous, and immediately they are cut right back down to nothing in the bank account. They have 2 rifles into this round. One of them Guardian, actually, against a full buy again. Koala Noob still with that operator.
And he makes it ring for a blind shot through the smoke with no kills. But at least for now, since that timeout for YFP, they are making M80 fight for these rounds. That goes back and forth since that timeout. So you can definitely tell here through the timeout, there's been a lot of protocol conversation that keeps YFP in this game to keep the mental there. A 5-player hit inside this B side, only 2-player towards the back.
He's stuck that.
Stuck it in net, is just gonna swing out on it, and BCJ gets the wallbang kill with the recon dart that he just popped out towards the front of that B site. Now they're just anchoring towards that back. Outside from the shorty, fully blinded was Will. Nothing he could do. And now Thief, 50 seconds left. If you can isolate these fights. He's trying to make a bit of noise here with the sidestep. You definitely do see the patience coming out from M80 until Nismo holds the angle. And you know that he's been clean on these shots so far in the first half.
Way too precise. No doubt. Respect that from Koala Noob with the shorty Vans. Looking like prime 2023 10s on the Yoru. Back when you could just hop out of the dimensional grip fast as hell, shorty a guy and TP off. Those were the days. We should buff the shorty again, in my opinion. Really. It was so fun when everyone had one. Really loved that era.
Oh my gosh.
All right, we've got a... Oh, go on.
Sorry, I was going to say, I feel like the first shorty kill out of the dimensional drift was actually done on Ascent as well. Which is crazy. But yeah,
might
that's
have been.
Fun fact.
Little bait setup from M80 on Cat. Contact going to be taken by Koala Noob. He's going to TP off, and Xander in the corner. Do they expect him here? They do, but he's just too good right now.
And the blind shot too off the decoy. Penny's trying to answer back the dash forward to try to fight. But there was still Nismo there to try to help out. Now he's pinned in the corner. Gets checked, it gets cleared. And there's that shorty, and at least we go back and forth. Very good protocols going back from these two teams to allow us to see another unraveling of a 2v2 in round number 11.
Planted.
Yeah, YFP, they were wise to that catwalk setup. Didn't get baited, traded things out nicely when those players came from a main. Now they have a chance for a 4th round, which honestly feels kind of crazy given how dominant this has been for M80. 4 wouldn't be too bad against the double sentinel comp on attack. It's going to come down to Thief and Will.
And the net too, that's going to delay and not allow here M80 to get the best value. Actually, it doesn't get recon hit, so it allows for a ping to happen. But Will is just too good. As they tried to swing out here, they got hit by the grab net, and YFP once again are able to hold a pulse plan.
Hey, listen, when the sides are swapped and you're the double sentinels and you've got the spike down and you can put down the sonic sensors, not too bad at all. And again, this felt like it was so dominant for M80. They had that 5-round run, but now with 4 on the board for YFP, this really isn't all too bad. The Annihilation is up in the hands of Will. Looks like they're gathered up towards B right now, which could end in disaster. That's where both Sentinels have set up their utility for M80 on the defense.
I like it. Trying to create a diversion as they're doing their regular Odin spray with the recon dart, allowing Koala Noob just to walk down. And the knee of Penny was sticking out, and he lands the shot.
Barrier mesh just buying a lot of time for the defenders.
But not the Annihilation. It was a little bit too late on the angle, and Nismo just walks out and gets backstabbed somehow, and Will is able to even it up. So even if the Annihilation doesn't get any contact, it allows for her to just run through and somehow tie up the situation. And on top of that, get info opportunities with the hat coming out. It's a 2v2.
Koala Noob trying to time that again. The 2 Sentinels for YFP, Thief and Will in a 2 versus 2 for the round.
Wyatt, The TP just came across there from Kuala Lumpur towards the A site because he shot the op towards B and TP towards A. They think it's going to be clear. He gets a free shot now towards the A site.
Will heard the drop.
Spotted. But now here comes the fight towards the tree. But BCJ was there with the Odin. Unfortunate backpathing towards the end after Will did hear the drop from Kuala Lumpur towards the A site. So Thief now has to Thunderfoot and bring out all the alternate cues, allowing Kuala Lumpur to get the easy shot from A main and end a half now for M80 8-4.
Those are the perks of running that Yoru. Kuala Lumpur, look at that, 17-7 on the defense. So many of those kills coming from the operator. What a shot to start off that round. Just holding the push out, gets a second onto Physic. Working his way into backside B. Didn't get a kill there, but he's in the walls, man. He's everywhere. Like, they feel like they can't go anywhere. They can't get into B. He's backside. All of a sudden, he's backside A. We can't get in there. He's in the walls. He's in A main. What do we do about this guy? Every angle is being held by an op. It's just so annoying to deal with. But again, YFP, 4 rounds, not bad. Not bad. Obviously, though, doesn't even need to be said. Must-win pistol for them here.
And that's what they have to do here for YFP. Just wait for them to take onto the defensive side where they hope that it won't meet too much of the quality up on the attack. Starts off with a wall being thrown up towards this B side, allowing just M80 to pick up an orb. But flushing players for Penny. Dash now activated. There's that first shot. It gets instantly traded out. Pop flash being thrown down by Kuala Lumpur. Trying to take control of middle, and now Jake is the one pushing forward. The long-range classic, though, allows 2 picks to happen. Now a player dropping down some Rosa. That's Xander, now the last player standing. Easy right-click there coming out from Jakey, and wow, they pinched that pistol round very well for the defensive side of YFP.
Yeah, Penny with that first, but the players in mid, Physic, taking that fight, pushing down. That trade was nice, and then Jake comes from Catwalk. Timings from those defender peaks, the aggressive peaks, were really nice. And Penny loves picking up that outlaw. M80 are wise to it. Every single time they've lost a pistol round in this game, 5 classics. They don't want to go up against that outlaw with light armors, so they play things safe.
No charges.
On the other end, Will was just waiting here with Jakey to throw the barrier mesh towards the front. But you definitely do know what's waiting here for Will at the front of this A side. It's a judge. Now the Yellow Drone is going to try to find the timing inside of it, but there's Kuala Lumpur with the lurk from behind, but gets hit by a sonic sensor, it seems like, that keeps Will alive. And now trying to shoot potentially under the door, if you will not. Door closes, we stay alive, but we do have some damage in the advantage, though, of M80 on their pistol.
Will just slamming the door in his face. Disrespectful to the rest of the team. For M80, trying to get up mid, smoke off the cross. They're going to have to deal with trips. They're going to have to deal with the Odin. The glass cannon Odin.
Oh my god.
That's demonic, deranged activity from Physic. Already as the Odin. No armor.
At least Kuala Lumpur made it behind, though. Oh, unfortunately, cannot get that kill at the Benny. And that will be a flawless round for YFP towards the end. So yeah, there's definitely going to be some question marks coming out from M80 being like, why the hell did Physic play an Odin no armor? But they made it work.
All right, let's see what M80 are going to opt to do now into the bye round. And they are relegated to a few bad weapons because they want the heavy armors. Kuala Lumpur with a Bulldog, 2 Guardians as well. Now listen, you can get some decent wallbang opportunities on this map with a Guardian, you know, around A, Heaven and Hell, B main. But still, certainly not optimal for the attacking side.
They're hoping, at least with Lorelei, that they have to work as a group to get this pick towards the A side. So there's a decoy and a TP across. Will switching back to his sheriff and reacted well enough to just run in with a judge while Physic is there with the fire support of the Odin. And it looked too good to start things off, especially after the decoy. But this is looking like a chalked up round here for M80.
You can't ask for a better bonus than this. Unless Net aces them and win. I mean, if he, I don't want to speak too soon. Maybe Net just aces and wins, and then, you know what I mean? But at this point, 4 players down. your entire team alive. You can recover rifles. Fantastic for YFP. That one sonic sensor just ruins them on attack. Everyone's stunned. As miserable as it was for YFP to play attack into the double sentinel, well, M80, left. Have fun. Now it's your turn for misery.
With the smoke coming out towards A main, that's like, okay, they're probably going to try to push me right now. So he's going to try to book it back towards his B side where he still had the camera and the trip up. So for the next 15 seconds, it's looking to be A-okay here for Net to save his rifle. But you're
10 seconds left.
Hit the nail on the head right now at this point here, Wyatt, with one sonic sensor able to basically break the attempt of M80 trying to hit towards the A site. But this is something that they have to be aware of M80, because they are playing this deadlock in their favor as well. On top of that, they're playing also double sentinel on their end, so they should be aware of the positioning of where this deadlock could place her utility and try to find ways to counteract that util with potentially BCJ's shock darts.
Yeah, for sure. Breaking those trips, incredibly important when you have the opportunities to do so. YFP on the cusp of tying this game up. It was so hard fought for them in the first half. M80 on this eco.
Oh, it's spot and shoot for the Odin spray. It was already pinged in the very beginning as you heard it coming out from the Omen. So Jakey was pinging out, hey, there's the spot, get ready with the Odin once the camera comes out, but that's M80 now trying to push back the fight towards his B site. And there's a weaker defense, but Noob's walking in alone first. And now there comes the Odin spray that, no matter what, there's always a 1+ Odin that seems to just dominate M80 every time.
Honestly, just go, let Physic get this kill, let him get the Hunter's Fury. Jake's gonna finish things off, but with all those Odin sprays, yeah, Physic is one off his ultimate for this next round. Could be of pretty significant impact. M80 are going to be forced onto this timeout now.
Yeah.
We've seen quite a few timeouts today from attacking teams going up against the double sentinel. That was the case in the first match too when we were on Lotus. It's so tough, man.
It's definitely tough, and it almost looks like Physic is playing like Yoru, because they seem to have it the perfect read of where M80 is coming from every single time, and it just dominate with the, again, Physic +1. But I think that's the beauty of playing that double sentinel as well. If they read incorrectly, at least they still have the sentinel set up to delay as much as you can here on the other end. And they still bring good value out of it without having to force like a fast TP like M80 kind of had on the defensive side.
Yeah, it just makes it so tough for the... I mean, when you're on the attacking side going up against this, it feels like no matter what site you hit, you're just going to be destroyed by util.
Yeah.
You know, you can just place that mid-info trip as a defender and then have your other trip for, you know, B or A with the rest of the deadlock utility. A barrier can cut off the hit, or it can cut off a different part of the map. And then wherever you're doing all that, the rest of your players can stack up. You have an op to lock down other areas of the map. Right now, Penny is going to have that towards tiles. M80, they want to use this dimensional drift to gather info on the A site. Qualnoob going to ping out Penny there. Knows that the site is basically clear at this point. Oh, is Penny actually caught this wall? He's going for it. Oh my god, what a maniac.
And Physic once again spraying with the Odin on top of the A-Heaven, and Jake is just waiting on the other side of the barrier match. And once again, a fast rotate coming out of YFP on the fast execution of M80, and they were always ready to jump in on the opportunity as soon as they heard the spike tap going inside the A side, and YFP now take the lead.
The pace on that from the defenders is lovely. And Physic just picks up the spam angle for Generator. I mean, Penny goes for that mad shorty jump through, which seems crazy, but the rest of the team was already there to support. That's so good from YFP. It looks like they are going to take their map pick from this point on. They've got M80 now on the eco.
White.
With this op in play, it just adds another wrinkle, another unfortunate you know, defensive, you know, adds to the defensive setups in a way that M80 are going to be even more frustrated to deal with. They have to clear those angles out.
If I'm YFP, and I just heard you say that, I'm writing it down in my notepad around number 18. That Y potentially just cast a curse to me. Yeah.
Oh, no. I'll say it. This one's over. YFP have won.
At least for now, they have a lot. You mentioned it. At least an economy, weaponry, and also the Hunter's Fury, should they need to use it here to really secure the round and take the lead by 2 for YFP. So far, we haven't seen, unfortunately, any shenanigans coming out from M80's side in terms of landing some crazy shots on their thrifty buys or any type of real flood executions that really smother YFP on the defensive side in these lower buys from M80, and they're trying to do so towards this A side. And Penny somehow gets to pick up the Xander as he's trying to TP away. Every single time you're trying to do a 5-person hit inside the site, it's just always lighting up in green or blue or teal, whatever color you guys think this is.
It's green, Vince. It's green. It's green. Is that you who said it was blue? Who said it? Who did that? Was that you who said it was blue recently? It's definitely green. I don't know what to tell you.
I felt that I've said that it was turquoise.
Maybe it was teal. Turquoise.
I definitely didn't say green.
Someone was mad wrong about that recently, and I'm just going to put it on you. All right, let's.
The green is there for YP, though. They have the money.
And they're going for the fast shark attack down mid.
Oh my gosh, and the Hunter's Fury does get damage on top of that too. And that was all a diversion with the shark attack to just dash forward to keep those players at bay inside that B link and B main so you could get value off the Hunter's Fury. And Physics the one with the up too. It's not in the hands of Penny.
Drone going to re-clear onto Koala now. Forced to break that. And still M80 at this point. Where do they go? How do they try and work around this Sentinel utility? They're going to go into B. That means they're going to be dealing with 2 anchors here.
Yeah.
Jake and Penny both back sight, and look at the speed on this roadside already. Physic is here. He has the Odin. He's ready to spray. Make it even more frustrating. Great annihilation from Nismo.
They haven't broken it. He's made it out inside the smoke to allow here Kuala to get the pick. And now those anchors are being hit and picked off one by one just from the engagement off. That annihilation from Nismo. A great start to kick things off here from M80 to bring this back in the game, but YFP is definitely still so strong in the economy department and also in the ult department to hopefully bring the pace back in their favor.
I mean, the annihilation is so good, man. It's just so useful in a situation like that where a player makes their position obvious. I mean, you know exactly where Physic is spamming from with that Odin immediately nullified. You pull him in and suddenly you don't have to deal with that crossfire from sight and spawn. They could focus on the players that were just, you know, bunkered back on B. Deal with that. The economy's been great for YP, though. They're able to get another operator into the hands of Penny.
It's dangerous when the recon dart also missed, and they just wanted to make sure that they could identify where the op was going to be, and it was basically a 50-50 chance because that was a wide jump by Nismo. And it makes sense. This guy's a boss so far, Chad. He's just walking widely around the map here, just fragging everybody so far. But there's still an opportunity now for M80 to work the map. Mid-control at least to start, and they're just waiting off the barrier mesh on this catwalk, although Koala Noob is down to 11 HP.
And Penny is just ready to go for a shot here to catch a player that's walking up when this barrier mesh falls. Will going to play off of that. You know, Penny's going to take the shot, fall off. Will in the corner. Wow, pops the annihilation.
Wait, got one.
Penny catches one. I mean, it gets broken, though.
30 seconds left.
Just didn't bring Nismo close enough. And now the hit's going to come onto B, but they have to deal with the Sentinel utility.
Well, that was a nice try. The camera went up to try to get the Odin spray into the market, but the reconner will definitely get information. And also, once again, just an incredible hold on the defensive side of YFP. Every single time they're trying to go into a site, if it's not going to be on weapons, there's just so much utility stalling M80 and YFP. They win the round with 4 players alive, keeping the map back on track in their favor.
They're just not able to get the information right now on where these setups are going to be. No matter where you go, you're just running into the to setups that are so impossible to crack, to deal with. They have Cat locked down. They have all that util for B. I didn't curse this game, Vans. It's over. I don't know what to tell you. We're going to sunset. Listen, I don't know what to tell you at this point. Not a curse. Going to sunset. YFP, listen, they struggled early on Haven, but they've become far too quality of a team to go out silently. The team that has turned things around the most of any team in Challengers this year. It's not even close. You know, they were in a tragic state in stage 1, and now for stage 2, after bringing in Jake, after bringing in Will, have transformed into one of the top teams that we have in the scene.
And on the top of the standings, on top of that, with this victory, if they do get it somehow against M80, they'll be tied with Oxygen, currently 4-1 in stage 2. So yes, I do agree with you. They've definitely turned it around for YFP. And also the trade that you mentioned before also allows Fluffy Aimers to really get good value out of their season so far as well. But to focus on this game, M80 once again seems like they have backs against the wall on this map, and they're just going to try to go for the honest 5-player hit inside this B site with all of the ults available. You're hoping to get some contact, waste out utility, and you already see the net being thrown out here on the defensive side from Will as BCJ finally gets the opener onto Physic to start. There's the counter net being thrown, and Will gets stuck, and he's trying to get the spray across and does a little bit of damage. Nismo's now down to 14. The hat now being thrown. Location being revealed on the defensive side as the hat was thrown out by Net. Flat now comes down for M80, and there's that Hunter's Fury on the attack from the back of the site. No contact coming through, though, as now one's trying to walk down, and through the smoke, YFP is able to get the kill.
Oh, what is that?
Smoke onto Koala Noob. Advantage right back for YFP. It's bowed down to the information that Thief was throwing out of his own hat. And they now notice the player is stuck in the back of the site. The last 2 players remaining up to BCJ now only and alone. And the ping does not even matter when there's 4 players storming through on the retake. And YFP is now at map point.
All right, Will is doing some silly stuff on this map. He's been playing really well, and sometimes when you're playing really well, you also just get away with everything. I mean, the running backwards Phantom Spray headshot, that's cool. Gets a great grab net all the way backside into sewer as well that catches BCJ, I believe, so you're not able to swing, not able to support his teammates. YFP are on the verge of closing this out, taking us to Sunset, the 3rd map. The IGL stepping up for the team. Physic has gotten so much value anchoring with this Odin. 18 and 12. You know, usually he's just calling well, but it's the other players that are doing the fragging for the team. Not here on Ascent. Really stepped up.
Teleport.
Such a good group effort as well. Could also look down on the UI on the right side and look through the YFP roster and could pin out some highlight reels and highlight moments from every single one of these players on the defensive side, but definitely leading the charge with this Odin is Physic. And as we talk about him, he's under heavy pressure. A split attempt from M80 towards his A site. The net once again catching 2 players, and Will gets the pick at least towards the tree side, and they anchor it down once again with the Odin for support. Tree side, A main, everybody falling from M80, needing only 1 more kill to push this into Sunset. Is Xander down to 51 HP, being hunted down by 3 players with full confidence, and Penny will bring us into a 3rd map of Sunset.
And once again, you want to go hit B? All right, cool. There's all the Sentinel utility. All right, you want to go hit A? All right, cool. You're running into the stack. You're running into an Odin. Great defense from YFP, and they did just enough on their attack half as well, getting 4 rounds. That was what they needed. I mean, it ended up being even more than necessary, but against a comp like that, you'll take what you can get. They play that perfectly. Going to a third map, YFP are not out of this yet.
Definitely, and from both sides too, with the compositions from both M80 and from YFP, there was still great value of a Jet on one side or a Yoru on the other end, but it definitely did show that the synergy in terms of how you wanted to delay from YFP was just too good compared to what M80 brought to the table on the defensive side. So YFP, they'll win their map pick, and they're going to push us down to a tiebreaker map, which will be Sunset, happening after the break.
Base.